Well, it's Friday, May the 14th. My name is Pam, and welcome to the reading of the Record Courier. Let's begin with the area deaths. Dolores Marie Eichler, nee Horning, passed away peacefully on May 10th. Visitors will be received on Saturday, May 15th at 9:30 a.m. at St. Joseph Church. A Mass of Christian burial will be celebrated by Reverend Thomas S. Acker, S.J., following at 11 a.m. with interment at St. Joseph Cemetery. Benjamin Jesse Hawkins, 71, passed on Monday, May 10th, at his home following a courageous battle with cancer. Condolences may be sent to the family by visiting www.oakmetalcremation.com. Richard L. Taylor, age 85, of Ravenna, passed away Friday, May 7th, at UH Portage Medical Center. Friends and family will be received Friday, May 14th, from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m., with funeral services at 11:30 at the Woodcott Wright Borkowski Funeral Home, Ravenna. Robert W. Willard IV, age 32, of Ravenna, passed away on May 7th. There will be no services or calling hours. And that completes the area deaths. Now, on to today's article. Water Bills Give Some Ravenna Residents Sticker Shock by Diane Smith. Some Ravenna water customers with new meters from the city are facing sticker shock over the water bills they've gotten since their new water meters were installed. Last year, the city decided to install new water meters. The old system, most recently replaced in 2008, had failing batteries that prevented the meters from being read, and residents were asked to call in their readings monthly. However, those who didn't call in their readings as requested may have gotten a bill that was on the larger side once new meters were installed, said Mike Reynolds, the city's water billing supervisor. Sandra Paul, who has lived with her husband and two toddlers in the city's Anavar Estates development since 2002, said her family's water bill was $40 a month for years. When the estimated bills started coming in for $40, she and her husband Vince weren't worried because the estimated bills were consistent with their previous ones. After the new meter was installed in late March, the family got a bill, are you ready? For more than $700. Paul said she didn't understand it because the family's water usage didn't increase dramatically. We didn't fill up our hot tub, but that's the equivalent. Oh, we did fill up our hot tub, but that's the equivalent of 3 baths, she said. I think they're doing this just to pay off those new water meters. Reynolds said last May the city began sending monthly letters to all customers whose accounts were being estimated, asking them to call or mail in their meter readings because the batteries in the system had failed. Starting in February of this year, the city also put a message on bills stating that if bills were estimated, residents needed to call in their readings. The meters were still accurately measuring the water, but the meter did not have a way to send us the readings, Reynolds said. Although many residents sent in their readings, those who did not got an actual reading when the new meter was installed, and bills were based on the difference between the final reading from the old meter and the reading on the new one. For some residents, he noted, the difference was quite a bit. The readings, he said, were estimated for a month for some residents and for about a year for others, depending on when their meter stopped sending out the reading. Not every meter stopped sending out the readings, he said. We are absolutely working with residents who received large bills, he said. Those who call regarding a high bill from a meter change will be allowed to pay the bill over the remainder of this year penalty-free, but residents must call to make arrangements. We do not expect residents to pay all at once, Reynolds said. Paul said her family was told that they have until the end of the year to repay the balance, but predicted that many families will have a hard time with the increased payments. There are so many families out there who are struggling so much as it is, she said. And now, uncertain future. Plan to axe health departments in smaller cities could impact Kent by Caitlin McGarvey. Kent's administration has made it clear that it is firmly against potential consolidation with Portage County's health department. Language in Ohio's 2-year budget would require cities with fewer than 50,000 residents to study whether their health department should merge with the county health department. The change could consolidate as many as 18 of the state's 113 health departments, Kent included. Under the proposed change, the Ohio Department of Health and State Auditor's Office would create criteria to determine whether departments should merge, and the state would allocate $6 million for those studies. If the study indicated that the smaller health department should be consolidated, the city would have to enter into a contract with the county health department. According to Kent City Manager Dave Ruler, city and health officials have been tracking the legislation, House Bill 110, and actively oppose it. The Portage County Health District does a great job and is a valued partner, he says. However, because the city is home to Kent State University, Kent's needs are very specific and much greater than most other parts of the county. Ruler said Kent feels it is critical it has its own resources dedicated to public health. We recognize that the presence of 25,000 students creates extra needs on the local public health system, and we don't think it's fair to expect Portage County to be able to provide that extra level of service to Kent, but not the rest of the county, Ruler said. I believe that's why Kent voters chose to specifically include the Kent Health Department in the city charter. Ohio Representative Bill Romer, Republican for Richfield, who proposed the change, said he wanted to ensure Ohioans are receiving comprehensive care, and that is threatened by a patchwork of service statewide. That patchwork was even more evident during the pandemic, when the job of doling out vaccinations fell to multiple different providers. Romer said small health departments would not be eliminated entirely, only consolidated with their county counterparts. You would get the best of both worlds. Proponents of consolidating health departments says it's a matter of efficiency. The pandemic definitely brought it sharper into focus, said Romer, adding that Ohio's health department outnumber the state's alcohol, drug, and mental health boards and educational services centers combined. Health department officials argued those studies are also redundant because most are already undergoing an extensive national accreditation process required by Ohio lawmakers to prove their worth. The city has communicated its concern with state representatives, Ruler said. Kent City Council is also anticipated to vote on a resolution strongly opposing House Bill 110 at its May 19th meeting. Ruler said that, based on conversations he has had with various members of council, they are equally concerned over the prospect of the city losing its public health resources, especially following the events of the COVID-19 pandemic, where extra attention and personal care provided by Kent City Health Commissioner Joan Seidel and her staff saved lives. It's not unusual for health departments to consolidate for various reasons. In 2013, the city of Ravenna moved forward with a merger with the Portage County Health Department. At that time, Ravenna City Council approved an ordinance authorizing a contract with the county for environmental health inspections. Previously, the city contracted with the county unit to also handle nursing services. Then, Ravenna Service Director Kelly Engelhart said the move represented a functional merger of the two health departments. The city was phasing out the role of its health commissioner. The leap to officially bring Ravenna into the ranks of the Portage County Combined General Health District happened in 2015. It came as no surprise, as the county and city had worked on negotiating a merger deal for months. The agreement meant the Portage Health District served all of the county except the city of Kent. Aurora and Streetsboro joined the county district in the early 1970s. The number of health departments in Ohio has expanded and contracted over the years. Beth Bickford, executive director of the Association of Ohio Health Commissioners, said, before the 1918 influenza pandemic, health departments were located only in cities, leaving Ohio's unincorporated areas underserved. After that, the number of health departments swelled to 160 by the 1980s and has since dropped to 113, she said. Terry Argent, Health Commissioner of Massillon City Health Department, said that eliminating health departments would divert money collected from fees to the county instead of the city. Lawmakers in the Ohio Senate are reviewing changes to the state budget in the coming weeks. The final 2-year budget must be approved by June 30th. The Cincinnati Enquirer reporter Jesse Balmert and Record Courier reporter Diane Smith contributed to this report. And moving on, surprise champs. Flashes pull off an unexpected upset to claim the MAC title, by Alan Moff, Ravenna Record Courier. When it comes to team sports, track and field is typically about as predictable as they come. Since results are based on times and measurements, it's relatively simple to crunch numbers and determine which team enter each meet with a realistic chance of winning. Rarely does a squad come out of nowhere to pull off a stunning upset, since an astronomical number of things have to fall the underdog's way to make it happen. But it does happen. In 2021, Kent State women's outdoor team is living proof. After finishing 6th at the conference indoor meet back in late February with just 51 points, no one gave the Golden Flashes much of a chance to contend for a title at last weekend's Mid-American Conference Outdoor Championships in Oxford, Ohio. That includes the Flashes themselves. Going into the meet, I think everybody was just focusing on performing their best and hitting the mark that they needed, said Kent State senior throws star Grace Tennant. No one was really considering that the women's team could come out with the win. The Flashes proceeded to double their indoor point total and capture the program's first MAC track and field championship since 2014, topping runner-up East Michigan by 12 points. We came into the meet ranked around 5th, said veteran KSU head coach Bill Lawson. I told the girls Saturday morning that if we can get to 100 points, and we will win this thing. Things just started falling into place. Every time I looked at somebody after an event, I'd point to them and they'd just kind of nod their head. It was like wildfire. It started catching. The Flashes women's program hadn't caught many breaks since claiming 9 of 10 indoor and outdoor MAC crowns from 2009 to 14. Kent State had not finished higher than 3rd in a MAC indoor or outdoor meet since sweeping both titles for the 3rd consecutive season in 2014. Scholarship cuts and other budget trimming moves recently implemented had made it increasingly difficult for the program to compete at the highest level in the MAC. Since I've been here, the women's program has been in a bit of a rut, says Tennant. I remember sitting in Coach Lawson's office when I was being recruited to come here and seeing all the rings and trophies that the women had won, and him saying, you're going to get one of these one day. Here I am in my 4th year, and we hadn't won one yet. Kent State put itself in position to end the title drought on day 1 of the MAC championship last Friday. Tennant threw a personal best 151 feet, 3 inches, to capture the javelin title, and freshman Leah Pasqualetti cleared 13-575 to win the pole vault as the Flashes scored 36 points to take the lead by 3. It is well documented that I don't sleep. I woke up at 2:30 a.m. Saturday morning with things just running through my head, said Lawson. I got on my laptop, started calculating numbers, started looking at who didn't qualify people to the finals from other schools, and how were we out kicking our coverage. By 4 a.m. I said to myself, holy moly, we can win this thing. I went to breakfast the next morning with about 12 or 13 of the girls, and I said to them, don't panic, listen to what I have to say. You need to start spreading the word. We can win this thing. All we have to do is do what we have coming in on paper, and everybody from the other schools will cut each other up. Word quickly spread among the Flashes. Coming into the second day, it was just full throttle for everyone, kind of realizing that we actually had a chance at winning, said Tennant. Several teammates set the stage for Tennant and junior Gabby Bailey to eventually nail things down. Senior Benja Duff scored 4 points with a 5th-place finish in the 100-meter hurdles. Junior Ruby Greenwood stunned the field by taking 2nd in the 400 meters, scoring 8 points. Greenwood's runner-up time of 53.88 ranks 5th in KSU history and was about 3 seconds faster than the top time she had ever recorded heading into the 2021 MAC outdoor meet. Bailey and Tennant went 1-2 in the shot put. Then sophomore Lily Franks, senior Desiree Thomas, and sophomore Tiana McCormick went 4-5-6 in the high jump for 12 clutch points. I fully expected Desiree and Lily to get the job done. Tiana was ranked like 11th or 12th in the high jump going in, said Lawson. She was on her third attempt at 1 meter and 68, which is about 5 feet 5 inches, which is a lifetime high for her. She has never made that bar at practice or in a meet. I went up to her, looked her face to face with my hands on her shoulder. I said, Tiana, look at me. You are going to make this bar. If you make this bar, we win the track meet. You can win us the track meet right now. She looked at me, nodded her head, then seconds later, she goes over the bar and makes it. Right after that, we had Ruby drop the bomb and get second in the 400. Then we just had to close the door in the discus. After senior Serena Choi tacked on a 5th place finish in the triple jump, Tennant and Bailey knew what they had to do. Going into that second day, I knew Gabby and I had the potential to score a lot of points. It slowly became more apparent that we needed to finish 1-2 in shot and discus if we really wanted to win the meet, said Tennant. Of course, there were a lot of other girls who outperformed their seeds and got us the points we needed. But going into the discus competition, Gabby and I were both kind of looking at each other like, you know, we really have to win this if we want to get the rings. Earlier in the day, Bailey won the shot put with a throw of 55-1, followed by Tennant at 51-175, under 2 inches ahead of third place Zarisha Neal of Bowling Green. In the discus, Kent State Dynamic Throws duo left no doubt. Bailey earned her second victory of a day with a toss of 183-5, while Tennant was second at 178-2, over 8 inches ahead of third place Neal. Oh, it was a lot of pressure, but I think we both used it to our advantage, said Tennant. We had a lot of support. Everyone came over to watch. Tennant was named Most Valuable Performer after the Ontario Canada native scored 26 points herself at the MAC Outdoor Championship. Going into the meet, I knew what was expected of me, and I knew the goal that I had to set for myself, she said. I wanted to medal in all 3 of my events. I knew that it was something I was capable of. I did have a lot of pressure on my shoulders, especially once we got into the meet and realized how close we were to winning. I definitely think that it pushed me to do as well as I did. There wasn't an option. Lawson, director of Kent State's track and field program since 2005, secured his 10th MAC title and 10th MAC Coach of the Year honor on the women's side. He's never been more proud of or stunned by a team's championship performance than he was last weekend. I don't know if the girls were shocked, surprised, or whatever, but they really didn't fully embrace the celebration until we actually got on the bus. Then they went crazy, said Lawson. Everybody's on a high right now. Our men's team did some great things last weekend as well, and I'm so proud of our guys for being so happy and supportive of our women's team. We all really needed this. It's been a difficult year. It's a fantastic lift for the entire program. Our next article, Aurora voters pass Bertram Inn rezoning in a landslide, by Bob Gagens. An overwhelming majority of Aurora voters cast ballots in favor of allowing the rezoning of the Bertram Inn and Conference Center from the industrial to mixed-use classification for the 16.4-acre property. Of the ballots cast, 807, about 78% were in favor of the zoning map amendment and 222 were against it, according to final but unofficial results from the Portage County Board of Elections. Heritage Development Vice President and Director of Real Estate Rob Benjamin said the company would like to convert 75 hotel rooms to 25 to 30 upscale condominiums as a way to boost the Bertram's bottom line. That would leave 149 hotel rooms. The planned renovations require the rezoning as a first step towards approval. We are not making any exterior changes, said Benjamin. We're going to make some improvements within the building, and we'll probably have a separate entry on the outside for the condos. Once the vote is certified, Mayor Ann Womer Benjamin said Heritage Development, which proposed the rezoning, will need to seek conditional zoning for a multifamily development. I am pleased that the rezoning passed because mixed use is a much more appropriate use for the property than industrial, which was the original zoning, she said. The property is surrounded on the north, east, and south side by the upscale Barrington neighborhood. Assuming Heritage Development receives a conditional zoning certificate, Womer Benjamin said the next step would be submitting plans for a major renovation. Benjamin says he hopes renovations can begin later this year. And now, letter to the editor. On behalf of the Twinsburg Board of Education, our 4,100 students, and our staff members would like to thank our residents from the village of Reminderville, Twinsburg Township, and the city of Twinsburg for supporting the passage of Issue 6, the Twinsburg City School District $5 million renewal levy. The Twinsburg Board of Education's decision to place the renewal levy on the May 4th ballot was vital to the financial future of our school district and our ability to continue to provide excellent educational programming and services to our students. We sincerely appreciate your trust as we continue to be good stewards of your tax dollars while assisting every child in the Twinsburg City School District to realize their greatest potential. Signed, Catherine Powers, Superintendent, Twinsburg City Schools. And now, sound off. Again, Jay Ambrose shows his bias in his first 100 days. Gone, but not the crisis. The only truth in his comment that Biden's caring, positive voice feels good, President Biden is not a Bernie Sanders. Trump did not fast-track the COVID recovery. Americans do want to work instead of relying on handouts. Trump was handed a rising economy from Obama, and Tim Scott's rebuttal was not polite, but negative and just mimicked Republican talking points. Officer Chauvin is in a special safety unit in jail to protect him. That is fine. However, how about other inmates' safety from abuse? Prisoners are sentenced to serve a period of time for their crime. They are not sentenced to being assaulted or abused. Republicans and others. Naysayers keep complaining about well-off folks and high income, people who receive stimulus checks. Well, however you classify my income, I spend every penny of my stimulus check and then some for donations to needy charities. Begrudge that. If you want workers, try paying them a living wage. You're just mad that you can't get away with low pay for terrible jobs anymore. Guns, shooting, and probation? What's going on? Please email soundoff@recordpub.com. Please keep your comments brief and civil, or we'll have to edit or not publish. No comments, positive or negative, about local candidates running for office will be accepted. The phone number is 330-298-1138. And now, Portage County Crime Reports. Remember, crime reports are a sampling of incidences responded to by local law enforcement agencies. They're not intended to be all-inclusive. In Franklin Township, a homeless man, 47, was charged with second-degree felony burglary, third-degree felony violating a protection order, fourth-degree felony grand theft of a motor vehicle, and first-degree misdemeanor domestic violence after he allegedly entered a township woman's home on May 2nd, assaulted her, and took her 2015 Toyota Corolla. A warrant was issued for the man's arrest. A Stowe man, 22, was charged with aggravated menacing, operating a vehicle under the influence, and prohibited blood alcohol content after he allegedly drove his vehicle at another male in Addy Street, 7700 block at about 12:45 a.m. May 2nd, and found to have a blood alcohol level of 0.117%, higher than the 0.08% legal limit. The man was arraigned in Portage County Municipal Court in Ravenna on May 3rd and released on a personal bond, with the condition that he have no contact with the other male. A Ravenna man, 28, was charged with fifth-degree felony drug possession after he was allegedly found with suspected meth at an East Main Street business on April 30th. The man was arraigned in Portage County Municipal Court in Ravenna on May 5th and released on a personal bond. Ravenna Township. A 22-year-old Alliance man and a 21-year-old Ravenna man were both charged with first-degree misdemeanor aggravated menacing after the older man allegedly threatened a female with a knife and the younger man allegedly threatened another male with a knife while they were all at a Cleveland Road home on May 1st. Both men were arraigned in Portage County Municipal Court in Ravenna on May 3rd and released on bond, with the condition that they have no contact with the other male and the female. Well, friends, that concludes the reading of the Record Courier for Friday, May 14th. This is Pam saying thank you for having me into your home today. Please be well until we are together again. And as always, it is my wish for you that you be abundantly blessed.